Today, we're going to be talking about finding wisdom in the waiting, so please stay tuned. Welcome to The Bold Encourager. I'm Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It just allows for me to get my positive, encouraging messages out to everyone. So the thing that I'm very marveled and wowed by is the fact that we'll wait on certain things, but other things we get impatient with. So what are the things that we get impatient with? Okay, so let's talk about that. Don't we get impatient when it comes to traffic? We get impatient if our Wi-Fi is not working. We get impatient, we're waiting for our medicine. It's all the things we don't really like to wait for that we get impatient for. Now, if we're in Disneyland and we're waiting on a ride, we're okay to wait. We're fine with that. We have anticipation when we're waiting for our wedding day. So we're okay with waiting for that. We're okay with waiting for our birthday party celebration or something big. We're not okay if we're waiting on something that's not that fun, that's it's work related or something to that matter. We're not okay with that. Something that doesn't come with a nice package or something exciting to be waiting for. So we're not okay with waiting for those things, but we are okay with waiting on the things that produce something exciting, like going on a ride or, a wedding day or anything to that matter. We're okay with waiting on the good stuff, but it's not necessarily always the case in every situation. There is a particular posture we take in each circumstance. Now let's get into this because I feel like this is a message that I can relate to right now. Waiting to hear whether you have good or bad news sometimes is just nerve-wracking. When it comes to medical issues, when we don't know the answer, we're not upset or happy, but we're nervous, we're anxious, and we're impacted by that in a different way. So every circumstance produces a different type of response to waiting. Why can't we be in a different posture while we're waiting for God? Why can't we be in the posture as if we were waiting for a ride or our wedding day, anticipating that God will come through even when it looks bleak? Let us be the type of people that display excitement in the waiting, right? And I am not one that's good with patience, trust me. You're preaching, I'm preaching to myself right now. So the thing about it is I'm learned that I am impatient. As I get older, I'm I just hate waiting, and I hate waiting for everything. And the thing that God's teaching me is that I need to be anticipating the miracle in the waiting. I need to be excited about what God's about to do. And I think that's how you find wisdom in the waiting. Finding Jesus in every circumstance is finding wisdom in the waiting. I see you there, Jesus. I know you're working for the good of everything. I know what you're up to. And that is finding wisdom in the waiting. Let's also talk about why being impatient is not wise and why it is foolish. And let's start with the verse that comes to mind, and that is Proverbs 19:2, and I chose the Amplified version for this verse. Also, it is not good for a person to be without knowledge, and he who hurries with his feet, acting impulsively and proceeding without caution or analyzing the consequences, sins, misses the mark. So when we're impatient and we act impulsively and we can't wait, we're impulsive. We're let's make a decision right now. Let's do something that probably will cause more issues for us in the long run. That is not wise. When you're tired of waiting, you just act impulsively and say, well, I'm just going to do this. And you don't go to God. You don't wait on God. And impatience produces foolishness. So if we're wanting to make a wise decision, we just got to wait on God and wait to hear what he thinks we should do. And it's not always easy. And sometimes we're is that you, God, or is that me? You know what is from God and what is from yourself because you should know God's character. And the way that you know God's character is reading the word and getting in prayer and praising God through it all. When you know his character, you know it's him or you. So finding wisdom is finding Jesus and what he would do in the situation. So we have to look to that to make those wise decisions. And so wisdom can come from the waiting, because we start to see that we're waiting on God and not waiting on our own selfish ambitions, right? So I am one that needs to learn that. So there's definitely no judgment here, and I definitely know the struggle is real. So Proverbs 16:32, the Passion Translation. Do you want to be a mighty warrior? It's better to be known as one who is patient and slow to anger. Do you want to conquer a city? Rule over your temper before you attempt to rule a city. So impatience sometimes can produce anger. And with anger, you're not able to be a good leader. You don't think clearly, nor do you produce good leadership skills. So it's important to be patient and be good with the waiting if you want to be a good leader. People will look up to you when you're willing to wait on the Lord and see you as a great leader. We see that throughout the Bible in all of the leaders of God. They had and illustrated such great patience, and they were willing to wait on God. Think of Moses and how he wandered through the desert for 40 years and how patient he was with the Israelites. That is a good leader. So not only does waiting produce wisdom, but it also produces great leadership. Romans 12:12, the NIV version. And yes, this is not Proverbs, but goes along with wisdom. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. So that's how we're supposed to respond. Joyful. We need to be joyful. Like as if we were going to Disneyland and we were waiting on God to produce that exhilarating miracle. We need to be patient in affliction. When it looks bad, we're like, I don't care how bad it looks. I know God is working. Faithful in prayer, continually praying, nonstop. When things get hard, shows God that you know that He is there. Shows God that you're willing to ask and that you're willing to continue to have faith. Let us be faithful in prayer. I'm going to go on, and there's 2 more verses that I really want to share with you, and then I'll close it out. Psalms 37:7, the Passion Translation. Quiet your heart in His presence and wait patiently for Yahweh. And don't think for a moment that the wicked in their prosperity are better off than you. So this is letting us know we need to be quiet in the presence of the Lord. Be still in the presence of the Lord and know that He is God. Knowing that He will come and He will answer our prayers. Don't look at someone else that's not living right and say, they have it better than I do, God. Like, they never have any problems. We know that's not true. Everybody has problems, and maybe people are better at hiding it than others. But just know, because they're prosperous does not mean they'll be prosperous forever. We are prosperous because we have the gift of Christ, the gift of salvation. There's more prosperity in that gift than there is in wealth. Wealth, all that goes away. All that can be taken from you. But the salvation that God offers, the salvation of Christ, is not ever going to be taken from you. The hope, the faith, the love that we're given will never be taken from you. So let's finish with the last verse. Psalms 27:14, the Passion Translation. Here's what I've learned through it all. Don't give up, don't be impatient, be entwined as one with the Lord. Be brave and courageous and never lose hope. Yes, keep on waiting, for He will never disappoint you. Keep on waiting. Be courageous, be bold in your faith, and know that God is someone that's worth waiting on. Anticipate. Today is the day that I am going to see a miracle. Today is the day that God will arrive. When you get to that point, you will find wisdom in the waiting. I hope you enjoyed this message, my friend. And if you did, please don't forget to like it. Also, please don't forget to share. And if you want to go ahead and give it a comment, please comment down below if there's any topics that you want me to talk about in future videos. I'd love to hear from you on that. Also, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It just helps my channel so much if you do. I really do greatly appreciate all your love and support. And every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will post a new wisdom and life lessons video. And I believe I got a couple more weeks left before I move on to a new topic. So You don't want to miss it, and I want you to be encouraged continuously. Please go ahead and hit that notification bell if you haven't already, so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you stay encouraged.